Light field today at Monza. Only I think at last look 31 cars. We're up to 32 now, so some progress. Look, John Barker has joined the fray. Don't think I saw him before. So practice went pretty well. Was just outside the top 20, 150.5, probably 150.3 possible. So if I can get into low 150s, I'll be fairly happy. So should have some room now.
You can go ahead of me, Mike.
Okay.
Xavier Eugeni and Andreas Lucutis up ahead. Andreas, I think, is a major competitor today for me. He looked similarly quick. Is carrying a fairly high ping, so hopefully that will make him a little mistake prone, and I can take advantage of that. And hopefully no one destroys the shit here at turn 1, because somebody
Good
did
luck.
during practice. Really looking for a good result today. It's been a rough couple of races, just pace-wise, and then at Spa, which at this time is still processing on YouTube, the onboard of, but did not go well. It started well, was in second place behind Tony Santa Clara, and was looking real good, and then took myself out, basically. So no one to blame but me for a bad day. Well, whoever made my shoes, because for those unaware, I have very beat up toes right now, to the point where I have literally taped each of them individually with hockey tape, and am hoping that prevents the friction rubbing that I am currently joyously experiencing. Let's actually bump up that track control to 4. Oh, I have a message from Ayrton Tobin. I'll have to check that out ASAP. He is doing the commentary today solo, so obviously need to give him a hand if at all possible. I don't think I changed the spectator password, but he seems to be having some level of difficulty as my phone wants attention. That's my sister texting me. She is moving this weekend, and I have offered to surprise some help there. Newcomer to the grid, Sheng Fei up ahead of us. Very Chinese name, although I think he resides in Canada. I also have 2 other new sign-ups, although one I deleted today because I could not find him on Discord. Usual problem with administration. Oh, cut Rajia. That happens more than I'd like it to. That's the corner that if I get a track drive-through or something, that's the one that's going to do it. Another new face is Stephen Wenham. He was going to compete at Hungaroring, but brought the wrong car. Tried to fix it and couldn't get back in the server because his game crashed, which was most unfortunate. He'll be in the Team Oman Aston Martin. So every Aston Martin in the game, well, at least the V8 ones, are now represented on our grid. Very popular car. Second only to the Porsche. Maxi Lentini, championship leader for Porsche, is looking a little human today, so could be a big swing in the championship with Mike Stoppmill and Christoph Verstappen being the men at the front so far. God damn it, Stephanie. So that would have been a 55 or a 51.5, which would not have been a good lap anyways. So makes my Rajia cut a little less hurtful, because even with the cut, that wasn't going to be a good lap. really hope I can get down to about like a 50.2 or so. That would make me happy, regardless of where that puts me. I always look at qualifying as a battle for the time. If I start dead last, but I got the time that I wanted, I can't really complain. Just means everybody else was delivering, basically. I don't think last place is much of a chance, but wasn't ahead of too many people in practice, so there is that. I think I was 21st out of 29 that had lap times up. So I think 2 people didn't get a lap in. There's Andreas at the side of the road. Xavier Eugeni up ahead. Keir O'Neill. Good to see Keir on the track again. He was really worried about his spot. Recently had somebody sign out because they're too slow, which, to be clear here, there's no such thing as too slow in our series. Was that 50.8? Not great. Not a terrible start, but there needs to be about a half second at least there. I'm running a slightly different setup than I ran for my fastest lap. If need be, I will revert back. I do think that this one would be faster. Should turn in a little bit tighter. I may have to flatten the rake out a bit. This is the last lap I have fuel for. And I'll get to Ayrton. And then make a second run. Not looking great. I mean, 0.1 off is not terrible, obviously, but this is... Unless the time I lost was very much through Ascari and Parabolic, this is not going to be a very good lap. Some of it was through Ascari. About 2/10. But there's more than 2/10. I mean, I guess there's not that much more than 2/10. Like, I mean, that lap I did earlier was about 3/10 off of overall pace from practice, but this is also with lighter fuel. Pull over here. Okay. Back to the pits, see what I can do. Double check on the server that I'm giving the correct password. It's good. No. So Ayrton's on an update still. Let's try knocking down the traction control back to 3. So admittedly 4 I was more thinking might be a race thing. I am having a little bit of a problem out of the Lesmos and also Parabolica. that I think a little bit of extra traction control will help in the race, but it's probably slowing me down. Sean Kenny, after complaining how slow he is, up in 13th place. Typical Sean. Wee, I'm slow. Wee, I'm slow. And then I'm in top 10. Little sandbagger. I mean, he was slow, but he was slow because he just got his track medals and didn't practice. Like, once he gets the hang of it, he was inevitably going to go faster. Let's see what we can do. I actually had a decent battle with Sean at the Hungaroring when he got caught up in the carnage, but not a guy I normally see as a rival. And of course, we have got no teammates today. Wayne Hutchison out with and John Peach both out with rig issues. So I think I'm the only Mercedes in the field, which is really weird because, again, sometimes our car choices absolutely puzzle me, because the Mercedes, personal opinion, should have been a big favorite of the grid. Front engined, easy to drive, really competitive, pretty much anywhere. And I mean, admittedly, I think the answer is that people went with like kind of more mystique-ish cars that have like this history. Specifically, I'm talking about the Porsche, but also some other ones, I think. I think the Mercedes will struggle a little bit on the long straight, so I'm worried about that, like towards Primera Variante, or Variante Alta, or whatever that first one's called. But it should do fairly well on some of the shorter acceleration zones. For example, to the Lesmos here, and then between the Lesmos should be a good spot. And my Discord is exploding with messages. I need to check out who is having problems, which means I'm gonna have to cut this run short. But I'm finishing this lap because I am quite a bit up. About 6/10 up. Which would be the goal, although I'm slipping now, so didn't get a good run through Variante Ascari. I think maybe even have a little bit of flat spot. Feeling a little chunkiness to one of the tires. But that is pretty much where I was looking for a goal of 50.2, and I do still have half a session left, so hopefully I can handle the administrative duties and move on. So it looks like some connection issues for one of our racers. People did not go through the AF or the FAQ. Okay. So I got 2 racers that are having some issues. I'll give them a little bit of my time and attention right now. Actually, I shouldn't be the only Merc. Max Simmons is one of the ones having troubles, but he should be here. But there is none others. I am the only other one. Jesus. Who would have thought in a GT racing field there would be 1 Mercedes? Like 1 Aston Martin, or to a degree 1 Porsche, because there were some periods where Porsche was very, very not supporting. 1 Nissan, 1 Lexus obviously would be normal. 1 Jaguar. 1 BMW, even the way they're going. But 1 Mercedes and no Audis. This is the weirdest GT field known to mankind. Seriously. This is bizarre. This is the anti-world thinks. It's a little over 10 minutes to go. Verstappen and Stopmill are both ahead of Lentini, with Arjona, Andy Long up in 5th place, A. Jeff, Murray Iwanchuk, Finn Esch, Sasha Haas, Justin Swan. Andreas Lacutis is having a really good run there. 11th place. I'm down in 23rd, man. He's 1.4 seconds ahead of me. That's insane. Or not 1.4, like 0.9. Oof. Like, I'm happy with my lap, but this is the happy with lap, not so happy with position. Castano Muniz, Higgs, Eugenie, Kenny, Rico Haas, Connor Levy, Travis Wallace, Wesley Stokes, Daniel Madringa, John Barker. I guess these are the 2 that I really need to be aiming to get ahead of. Madringa and Barker. Ruben Simonite's got a decent run going. Biglino, Fay, O'Neill, Wenham, Toledo, Nash, and then... Oh, there they are. They got in. Here's the question. Did he actually grab a car that isn't taken? Whoa. Can anyone tell me what livery Vaz is running?
Barrel, I think.
Okay.
Oh no, never mind. He's in a McLaren. It's a black McLaren.
Okay. Just making sure he's not taking anybody's shit. I'll go into the replay function and take a look. No, he's running a custom job. That's basically looks like the Balf car, actually, from British GT. Pretty decent recreation, actually. Okay, now that everybody's problems seem to have been sorted, let's get back out on track. Let's get this done. So the number 3 traction control did help. Did a bit better. 24th place, though. Need to get moving forward. Need to get up past, like, Barker, Madriga. Again, though, not disappointed with, like, pace. Like, I mean, Wesley Stokes is, like, what, 3/10 ahead of me? That's a guy that normally I'm not competing with. I'll let Xavier Eugenie through here. It's kind of the thing. It's just a couple of people who I would normally be looking to out-qualify have really brought their game today. So, despite the fact that I'm not displeased to be like 2.6 off a pole, I'd like to be closer than that. I normally would be, but admittedly, like, this is where I was in practice, so at least delivering on a similar level practice to race, or practice to qualifying. But a couple other people have really stepped up, so it effectively puts me in a bit of a bad spot, but we'll see if I can improve. And it would only take a slight improvement to move up, because things are very tight. You can see that, like, I'm only a little over 2 seconds behind Madrinka. Barker's less than that. Very close to Wesley as well. So, it maybe just take like getting Ascari a little bit correct to a little bit more correct to move up a couple spots. So hopefully I can do that, because I did lose like, want to say like a little bit of time through Ascari on that best lap. So hopefully, so that's kind of what I get sometimes at this traction control going into Parabolica and Lesmo. Kind of the car a little bit over rotating on me, which costs time and makes the car a little bit unpredictable. Tommy Biglino exiting the pit. Good to have Tommy back on track. Salute to him. Also like to welcome back, he's not here today, but Ryan Gonzalez may be rejoining us after his military service. So very Ayrton's got problems. No. I don't have the time to fix that, I don't think. Well, there we go. A little bit of time getting through Sector 1. Not a ton, though. And lost some of it coming out of Raggia. Actually, lost all of it coming out of Raggia. Good run through the Lesmos. A little bit of scuffing there. Still, might be able to do it. Good run through Parabolica would be enough to improve on the time a little bit. I don't think it would move me up. But a little safety from behind doesn't hurt. No, it's not it. Lost time. Darn it. Not that disappointed, because I mean, if you told me I was going to get a 50.2 in qualifying, I would not have scoffed at that. And being back here may not be the worst thing in the world. This is Monza, Temple Speed. Turn 1 is an absolute death trap. We'll see what happens. .3 off. Barring a really good run through Ascari, this is not going to do it either. Well, it was a really good run through Ascari. Can I make up 2/10 into Parabolica? Or through Parabolica, I should say. Made up a little bit, but not going to be enough. One more lap. This is the last ditch. Track is optimum, tires are pretty much perfect. You could argue maybe slightly under pressured. And the front's a little, front left is a little warm. But car is up for more. Just gotta get the useless thing in the cockpit to actually do the job. Alright, better coming into Ascari this time. If we get a similar run through Ascari, I'll be in the green heading into Parabolica. Oh, had it. Had it too. Lost it at the end of Ascari there. Had to fight with the wheel too much. Well, 25th appears like it will be the best case position for me. Puts me behind Barker, Madringa, Travis Wallace. I mean, again, it's very weird because, like, there's some people there that I'd be really, really happy to be around. But there's some people there that I'm behind that I'm also really not happy to be behind. Not enough time left, really. Alright. Alright, so Ayrton did get in, so we do have commentary. Albeit one man today because Cole is away. Alright. I'm getting a reading of like mid 130s for this race in terms of pace. So we'll see what we can do. So I'm going 70 and 70. Probably will not fill up 70. We'll drop it down based on that kind of roughly center point of the race. Let's see, where am I? Yeah, there I am, 2.595 back. Behind Barker and Madringa, but very close to the likes of Travis Wallace and Mika Watt, who I really thought would be a top 10 car. Matt Higgs is back here too, so things are a little bit interesting. Federico Vaz, newcomer, is up in 10th. Max Simmons got to the top 10 as well. Oh, looks like I got dropped a spot. Yeah, somebody went faster. The two Haas's in there. Xavier Jenny, James Butler. Anderson didn't get a lap in. Interesting. Taylor and Delgado. Oh, we got a third Mercedes and Delgado. Vic Nash at the back. Toledo, Wenham, O'Neill, Frey, Biglino. Some of them. Not a great qualifying position-wise, or who's ahead, who's behind me. So hopefully I can deliver a clean, solid race. And that's really all I can say at this point, because the qualifying session, it is what it is. I could have maybe gone for one more hot lap there, but I don't really think. Let's see here. What did I put together in terms of sectors on that fastest lap? Is there something I feel like I probably let myself down in the third sector. Yeah, I did. So the third sector could have been about 0.2 quicker, a little bit quicker in the first sector as well. So could have got it down to like a 50 flat or a 50 point, or about, probably actually could have gotten to the 49s, to be honest. Where would that have put me? Mind you, everyone else probably has the same thing. They didn't quite get fast enough. Wouldn't have put me up terribly far. I mean, Mika's into the, as of Travis, they're in the 49, so could have maybe jumped Barker, Madringa.
What's the rule for the runoff on turn one? Kind of. I mean, obviously you don't blow through it and everything, but
just slalom it. The arrows, the arrows tell you where to go.
Yeah, no, I know. I mean, but you can kind of use that if you wanted to be nasty, you know.
You get a drive through if you blast through it.
Okay, good. That's kind of what I was wondering, but I assumed that.
Yeah. So follow the slalom. I'll put that in the chat. I don't know why people don't. I mean, I guess this comes down to the whole, like... I guess this comes down to the whole, like, just because you're into sim racing doesn't mean you're into real-life racing, I guess is... Whoa, 37-degree track. Whew. Things have gotten warm. Might need to adjust the tire pressures at the pit stop off of that. Right. Ooh, my computer is... One of the fans is kicked in. Alright. Kind of near the back, but this is Monza. Things can go really wrong. Who's got the optimum McLaren there? Is that Frey? No, Frey should be in the shadow play. 423. I have to check on that because I think Frey's in the wrong car.
People are slowing down early on T1. Think twice about easily passing them. They might be doing it for a reason.
And please pay attention for yellow flags. And drive accordingly.
And cars in front.
Alright. Temple of Speed, Temple of Doom for sim racers. Monza. Here we go. Take a deep breath, everybody. Alright, cars on. Formation lap, here we go. Drop us down to engine map 3. Save the gas. Not that it really matters all that much. I say that because, of course, the pit stops are at least, 30 seconds, so it doesn't matter how long you spend refueling, so putting less in. Well, it matters to a point. If you were to put like 150 in or something, that would be a bit insane. There we go. John Barker and Ruben Simonite will be around us. Get a little wiggle going here. Again, a bit weird to see Travis Wallace back here. Normally a guy to watch for, but this season's been a bit up and down for him in the Aston Martin. A bit interesting. Oh, I was gonna say, almost got teleported there. I mean, had plenty of time to spare, but still. Barker, Madringa in the lone Kessel today. Simeon Niku couldn't make it. Couple of... So I think this is the smallest grid we've had all season. Actually, it got up to 36. So it's not too unhealthy. Good thing that the ghosting the cars is this thing, because the way John Barker's swerving there, like, man, in real life would he get hit. But sim habits are gonna sim. Work out for the brakes as well. Through Lesmo as we go. That's Big Nino who's starting on the road directly behind me. See if anyone gets a drive through for formation lap problems. Could happen. Monza's probably a place where it's a little bit more common than most, if I'm being entirely honest, I would think. Just because of the how long the start-finish straight is. The urge to get up to speed a little bit faster is for sure going to be there. On this side. Get myself out of the red would be ideal here. Not really sure why I'm so in the red. There we go.
Whoa.
Things got slowing up really bad there. I think probably because people got caught in the same kind of thing I did, where we were really out of the green. Connor Levy, I don't think is supposed to be. I thought that was Big Lino that was in the 2Cs McLaren, but apparently that was Connor Levy. Way back here. Need to get back a little bit further. Okay. 16. Still below. There we go. No drive-through for me, at least. Travis Walsh, John Barker overtake me. Because I'm in the wrong map mode. Brilliant stupidity by me. Butler off at the first variante there. Maybe contact with somebody.
Gotta be kidding.
It's Sean Kinney around. There's Barker or Butler rejoining. So me and Barker have gotten ourselves into the mix with some unusual ones. Although Madringa, I think, is up ahead of us even further. Indeed, Daniel Madringa in the Ferrari at their home. Doing real well. Early on here. Not sure what position we're in because it looks like it's telling me 22nd, but that would not be the first time it has taken a lap to kind of settle down. But that does make sense. So, suppose we overtook 4 cars, which would have been Sean Kinney and James Butler for sure. So, I am in the correct map now, but somebody causing a white flag. Not super happy with that move by Sean Kinney, as one of the 2Cs gets absolutely murdered as a result. Is on the lead laps, or the first lap, so that will be reviewed. I'm putting my protest of innocence in, but we'll see. Andreas Lacutis ended up off the track there somehow. So problems for the dynamic Porsche. And I find myself in 21st position at the end of lap 1. With a contact where, who knows, maybe it'll be my fault. Maybe that was a squeeze. I think that was trying to jam into a gap that was always going to close, though, because I personally think I left that Lamborghini of Sean Kinney as much room as really could have been considered possible, but I could be wrong, and the video may show something different on the matter. Somebody off the track there at Raja. That's Mika Watt in the Lexus. So aside from Madringa, I think I'm ahead of Barker. So it's Madringa and Barker that I'm behind. And Levy's kind of important because we're battling with 2Cs in the standings. No Javi Perez Torres today for the Emil Frey Lexus team, I don't think, which is interesting. Helping my team out, but there are 3 2C McLarens, so as much as I wouldn't normally worry too much about where I am in relation to Connor Levy, it's kind of important today because I kind of need to beat the 3-2C cars just to give us any hope of retaining position in the championship, frankly. Travis Wallace behind me. If he comes up to me, I probably won't fight him too hard, if we're being completely honest here. Oh, Wesley gets bit a little bit in Parabolica. And there is the 2C McLaren of Connor Levy ahead of me. That's, I think, the bullseye for today. 51.9, that lap time. Now Max Simmons behind me. So he qualified in the top 10 if memory serves. He's way back here now. To be honest, Sean paid the price for the contact of Ascari, so I think if anyone faces a penalty, it will probably be me, because of the ESR stance on sort of the penalty being kind of asserted to if you had an incident, basically. Oh, something happened with Jonathan Swan there. And he has fallen back into this pack. Connor Levy is braking a little bit early for some of these turns, I think. That might have been what caught out Wesley and Parabolica. But not ridiculously so, as I lose spots to Wallace and Simmons as a result of kind of being caught out. I'll brake a little early here. I want to try and force the issue with Wallace. He's not a guy I'm traditionally racing with. Every so often it happens. Hungaroring, we were kind of rivaled until I got damaged. But in general, that 9 Shiza car is a little bit up the road. Also, it's not so bad because I feel like Connor Levy is kind of the bottleneck here. Slowed down on time. Simmons overtook Levy. Levy fighting back in the second part of the first Variante. Who else is behind me? That's Butler. So I'm more worried about Butler. He's a championship rival and just a life rival in sim racing for me. Kind of always. Doesn't matter how far apart in the championship we ever get, I'm probably always going to see him as a rival. Just a permanently formed rivalry in my brain. Not too worried about Wesley getting through. He's not on a rival team. He's not he's not on a team period, actually. Got a little too close to Travis there, and it absolutely killed my run. And that could be Butler beside me too. It is. Sean Kenny in the mix too. Can't outbrake Butler on the inside. That's a blow. I didn't want that Bentley getting through. Didn't so much care about Wesley and Sean, but I did want to keep Butler behind me. And I failed at that and kept the 2 guys I didn't really care about behind me. So that's lovely. Still want to keep Connor Levy in my sights, though. That's the big rival for today. I seem to have lost Barker, which is surprising. I thought his Honda would not do well here, but it is doing well here. He's up in the top 20. There he is. I can see him up at the front of this pack. Or, well, not this immediate pack, but the overall pack here that goes up about, I don't know, a couple of cars. Anyways. Directly ahead, it's Butler, Wallace, and Swan. Then ahead of them, I think it's Levy still. Then it's like Barker and Simmons, I think. Little track limit violation for me. No advantage gained. Butler had the kind of opposite track problem there through Lesmo too. Levy kind of faded badly in Hungary, so here's kind of, we'll put it this way, a hope that he'll do the same here and that I can come on strong. He's also fighting with people. I'm also fighting with people, though. So there is all that. He's still keeping up with Simmons. Simmons is not sprinting away from them, which is surprising. Somebody in the pits there. That's Tommy Biglino, who I think was the one who had that huge accident out of Ascari. That may have been struggled by me and Sean side by side. Stokes, Butler, and Kinney squabbling behind me. If they could keep doing that for a while, that'd be good. Apparently I had not had a decent run through the first Variante yet, and that was the first one that I did. Because I'm like 8/10 up on my lap time. Which is still only going to get me into the high 150s, which I guess kind of is the goal, if I'm being honest, for lap times right now. Did a low 150 in qualifying. And a white flag is out. Still out. Did I pick the spot? I did not. Well, there we go. It's Andy Long. Problems for Andy Long. That real solid qualifying. He's the only one of the 9 Shaws at Aston's that had a really good qualifying effort. And there's Daniel Madringa up ahead of me. He's another rival for the day. Fast improving Ferrari driver. Don't think him and Andy would have come to blows. I don't think they were in the right. They were in the same spot. Shouldn't have been, anyways. But you never know. And that puts me into 20th, which is the highest I have been in this race. 4/10 slower than Travis Wallace that lap. Or actually, just 2. That's Connor Levy going through the shortcut. We'll see if he remembers to slalom everything. Looks like he did. Has not picked up a stop-go or drive-through penalty. I'm not sure which he would have got for violation of that. Stop-go, I would imagine. We've lost a car somewhere along the line. Down to 35 competitors. Not sure who that would have been. We have seen significant damage for Biglino, for Long. Madringa looked okay, so she should still be running, I would think. I'd hope all of those would be running, but never know. Could be some significant damage. Connor Levy is now the man ahead of me. It's not too bad. But it does mean that my team is losing significant ground to 2C's Motorsports. The team of Vic Nash, Connor Levy, and Tommy Biglino. They have 3 cars to my ACA ASP1. Just me today. No John Picha. Tech issues with his gear shifter. And hard drive issues for Wayne Hutchison. Have sidelined both of my mates. There we go. Much faster than Wallace and Levy, but slower than Wesley Stokes, who's in behind me, and undoubtedly will be coming. Mika Watt's got to have damage. That Lexus does not look like it's comfortable right now. I know he didn't deliver in qualifying, but he was top 10 in practice. There's no way he's that slow. There's got to be something wrong with the Lexus. He's got to be nursing it to a pit stop. So, once the window opens, look for him to go in. Oh, come on, Connor! That's a super unsafe rejoin. He paid the price, but dude, you can't do that. Where are we supposed to go? It's going to cost me to Mika. Not really worried about that, although with his damage, I hopefully maybe can come back at him. Probably he's going to lose me a spot to Wesley, too. Oh, no! That might have been me swerving into him. That may be my bad. How's the pits? Repairs are going to be huge. Anderson picks me off. Kenny picks me off. Oh my god, this is terrible. I gotta drive it to the pit window though. Might have been on me. I have an annoying habit of my wheel not being fully centered. That's my guess. Yeah. Front is all banged up. This car will be going very, very slowly. I'll have to get her into the pits as soon as the window opens, and hopefully some of my rivals can have similar problems like Daniel Madringa here. John Barker will be another one. Connor Levy admittedly already has had problems, so it's kind of there. So can't be mad at Wesley. That probably is my fault. Worth a look on the replay, but that's about it. Did see Daniel off earlier, so we'll see if he leaves me for dead. Probably will. This car is not going to be fast. Should only need to get around for 2 or 3 more laps, though. And then the window will open, and then we're diving in. So I'll get a 1/3 reading on fuel, which right now is looking like it'll be in the 40s somewhere. Mauricio Delgado is probably going to get me before the pit stop, to be honest, because I'm gonna be like 4 seconds off at this point. This is rough times. We'll see what I think about that incident. If I want to add it to my report list or no. I will be reporting Connor Levy for that rejoin belt. That was dangerous. That's the type of thing that I think, even if you pay the price for, it could be dangerous for other people. I take that very, very seriously. If you're rejoining the track, you have to do it without contact. That's all there is to it. It's not up to the other drivers to avoid you. It is up to you to rejoin safely. Brief yellow flag there, so somebody may be hitting some problems. Oh, this car is miserable. Should only be 1 more lap and then into the pits I go, I think, because we should have an open window at 40 minutes. Somebody ahead of Madringa is going very slowly. That's Andy Anderson. I don't think he got a lap time in. Started at the back, and has made a couple of mistakes. I don't think he's fully healthy right now. If Delgado goes for a move, I'm just gonna let him go through because I can't fight him. Not like this. He's through. I think I should be able to haul him back in before the end of this race as well. Once I have some fresh repaired car. Pressures have been pretty good, so I don't think we need to make any adjustments there. Actually very low right now, but I think that's because we lost a bunch of pressure in the spin. Window should be opening shortly. We're down to 26, call it 25 liters. 1/3 distance. There we are at 1/3 distance. Yeah, let's call it 25 for easy, or 26 for easy math. 25. Let's give it some margin for error. Actually, so that's 45 liters times 3. It's 90. 135. So we'll stick with the 70 liters I'm going to put in. That'll give me 1 lap of cushion. Or, well, technically I could take 1 liter off, but more or less what I have planned will be the pit stop. So let's go to the pit stop here. There we go. Through Parabolica. To the pit lane I go. I think I got it slowed down. And in for a really long pit stop here. Federico Vaz in for an early pit stop. He was a late joiner. Oh no, not this again. It's been a while since I've done something this dumb.
Thank you.
There. Alright. Long ass pit stop now. So Vaz successfully cleared his. Sasha Hassa has cleared his. Rico Haas, Andreas Lacutis in, that's not surprising. Andreas I saw on the wall earlier, so he had some damage. Haven't seen the Haas brothers, but they might have just decided that they were going to go for an early strategy here. Finn Esch is in 4th place, that's nice. Maria and Chuck 5th. Xavier Eugeni's up in the top 10. Higgs Arjona. So I should be able to stay ahead of like Ruben Simeonite, who after a pretty good qualifying effort is having some problems. Question is, will I come out ahead of Andreas Lacutis? So let's get the ignition back on. And that's one of the ARXTs coming through. Cross your fingers I didn't get a drive-through. No drive-through. Okay. So here we go. This is some lap traffic that I was actually battling for position with, so that's not good. Somebody wrecked some stuff in turn 1. We'll check that on the replay, because I did specifically warn people that there would be penalties for that kind of thing. So of course I missed my stop point in the pit stop there. Car should be feeling better now, though. But until the pit stops run out, it's going to be just kind of like a time trialing effort here. I mean, basically, if I could stay with Andy up ahead of me here and Mika ahead of him. Mika didn't pit, so Mika's not either not damaged or is gonna go, in my opinion, with a bad strategy. We'll see. Anyways, so, but yeah, the point is, if I can keep up with like Anderson and Mika, I should, in theory, be making up ground on some of the guys I'm actually racing against a little bit, because I do think that they're a little faster. Like, well, actually, Madringa's directly behind me, so that's going to show me. If he laps me, that fight's over. I think we can safely say that. I need to pull away from him. And he is pulling, was pulling closer to me through Ascari there, but I think I may have jumped in Parabolica. Let's see what time he does. Oh, Verstappen coming out of the pits. Did I actually legitimately overtake him? Or, no, I didn't. I'll be blue flag for him shortly. Didn't get a look at Madringa's lap time. That'll be kind of key. I'll let him through heading into Raji, I think. He's not close. I'd like to let him through at Carrera Grande here, but he's not quite close enough for me not to just lose a ton of time doing so. There, let him through at Lesmos. Stop mill coming up behind me as well. So a bunch of people seem to have gone with the early pit stop, whether that's because of damage or because of something else, I don't know. Because we're not even halfway through yet, and I'm seeing the race leaders come in, and usually they stay out pretty long. And I am leaving that open for Mr. Stopmill. And I will chalk up a little bit early for Parabolica. So my lap time's going to be kind of messy because I let two cars through there. It's going to be pretty terrible. What does Madringa... Did Madringa pit? Might have pitted. No, he did a 53. Okay. So even letting people through, I got the better of Madringa there a little bit. I need to get more on him, though. And to be clear, he probably also let at least Stop Mill through, so he had a little bit of blue flag stuff as well. Keir O'Neill is my actual position rival. Like to know who's actually ahead of me. It's Wesley at the moment. Wesley's pitted, so. And then it's the Haas's. So it's whoever hasn't pitted that's ahead of the Haas's that I'm, in theory, actually trying to catch. Downshifted an extra gear there. Gap is widened out to Madringa by about a second this lap. If I can keep that up, I'll be quite happy. I do feel a little vibration coming in for the wheel, though. So, maybe a little bit of unhealthy tire. As Andrew Anderson heads into the pits. I mean, I was kind of fighting with him, but, like, it's really not going to happen, I don't think. Didn't overtake anyone in the pits there. Keeping nicely with Stop Mill and with Verstappen. I don't think they'd be doing much for us. I think Madringa did pit, so we'll see where I come out in relation to him. He was not the immediate threat, though. Obviously not feeling great about this race. The contact with Wesley Stokes, that may have been my fault, may have been his fault. We'll have to take a look. Maybe you guys even watching this video are entirely sure it was one way or the other. I'm not. One of us wasn't entirely straight, and I think there's an even money display that it was actually me, so that's not great. 29th place is not great, but it scores. Would be my worst result of the season, though, at a track where historically I've been able to do some things, but there still might be some pit stops to play a role here, hopefully. Let's see here. I did just overtake, I think, Finn Esch through the pit stop, though. That's interesting. He's had problems. Maxi Lentini out ahead of me. That is not a positional battle, of course. I think the day that it is, it'll be really weird. Let's get over to the overall ratings here. So Frey is ahead of me. I feel like he's a guy I should be able to catch. Wasn't lapping too quickly, although I do believe that McLaren 720 is actually very strong here that he is driving. And Anderson's ahead of me. Oh, I did overtake Frey. Okay, so he must have been in the pits. So Andrew Anderson up ahead of me. He's having a rough day by the looks of it. He is way behind Wesley. I am probably way behind him. Connor Levy is behind me and hasn't pitted, so that's team-wise a relief. Probably had a big Lino as well. Where is Vic Nash, I guess would be the question. Yeah, I'm not really racing anybody for position right now. It is just time trial mode. Oh, Nash is in the pit lane. So, in theory, at least I'm ahead of the 2C crew. Madringa has yet to pit. I thought he did. That'll be interesting. So he's the one that I'm intrigued to see where I come out in relation to. I was, of course, fighting with him before the pit stop, but I probably had the longest pit stop of anyone, so I need laps. Delgado's next up ahead of me. Some 7 seconds behind Anderson. So I'm within 10 seconds in theory. About 7, okay. I'm going to swap over to the relative now. So he is also the car directly ahead of me. So blue flag's not going to do me any favors, because I'll be the next one to get hit with a blue flag when Murray comes through. Not Mauricio. Mauricio did kind of ruin my race by losing control of the car at Hungaroring, so there's a little bit of priors. But he just lost the car. It wasn't anything. Wasn't anything malicious. 6 minutes left in the pit window. The only person whose pit stop I think is intriguing to me is Madringa's. At least for my position. I mean, there's interest in the, like, overall standing sense. So Andy Long. Oh, Stephen Wenham in the pits. Okay, so I'll overtake him. I'll be 26th place. Almost back up to where I qualified, at least. Wenham is out behind me, so... the car, at least for now, is the car behind me. That first second came out of Mauricio quite easily. Got the gap down to low 6s, but now it has kind of stagnated. About 6.3, 6.4. So I need to find more pace. Kind of keeping up pretty decently with the leaders. So I can see my gap to Lentini there. But made a mistake there at the Lesmos. That's not going to help me. Reasonable run through Ascari. White flag out for a moment there. Looks like it was for Guillermo Taylor, who may have just been doing a prolonged blue flag maneuver, if I'm being honest. Because there's a good little battle in the lead lap going on there. 51.5 for Delgado, 51.5 for me, so not much there. Jeff rejoining up ahead of me.
Whoops.
He'll be a blue flag. Should be able to let him through here, curve around. Slight lift. There we go. Don't like that he swerved to take the line, though. Come on, man. I'm lifting to let you pass. Doesn't mean you get to billy me off the track. I'm aiming air quotes for an overtake there, but that's just to avoid
Careful on the
hitting
back
him.
straight.
That cost me a lot of time. The lift for the blue flag, and then also the fact that he didn't get a very good run into Rajia. Kind of cost some time there. 3 minutes to go. Taylor and Delgado are my goal right now. Madringa's kind of a wild card because I still don't know where he is. I'll go a little slow into Ascari here. Just to let Jeff get away a little. I was kind of expecting him to be a little faster than he is. Alright, so 8 seconds to Delgado. That's going to be a tough one. Tough ask. Fair amount of time left, but I've not been able to consistently be, like, destroying him on a lap time level is the problem. Oh, Mika Watt in the pits. And John Barker! Oh, interesting. So I just got the better of John Barker, which is a big deal in the standings. It's him and Butler that I'm really fighting with as a driver. So that helped out. Wenham's running 53 flats. I ran over a 53, but that was losing mostly time to Jeff. So I don't think he's a huge threat. So, eyes forward and see what I can do about Mauricio Delgado. Problem is Mauricio is doing decent lap times. Oh, slow car ahead. That is Mauricio. Okay. If the lizard brain in my head needed encouragement, that was it. And the blue flag with Jeff will probably help me out a little bit more. Unless he just gets it cleanly done here. 3 seconds to... Oh... Would have given more room there if I was Mauricio. I know he's just taking the line into Parabolica, but that's a little... Oh, that looked a little iffy. Could also be optical illusion, though. A couple in the pits. Andy Long. Connor Levy. Both appear to have been pitted. And Mika Watt, just for the race. And John Barker. Oh, boy. So that's that'd be a big deal if Barker's out for me, championship-wise. Even with a relatively porous point haul here. Pit window has closed. 2.2 to Delgado. I am running high 51s. Definitely have more in me, though. Should be able to run low 51s, I think. Messed up the
Thanks, John.
your run there.
No worries, Bob.
Oh, Barker's still running. This looks like he had a major pit stop that actually cost him a full lap to me. Alright, so after a little bit of a mistake there. Still catching Delgado, losing ground to Taylor though, so the thought of 22nd place is a little bit off. White flag up for a slow car. It's Taylor! Wow, okay. Well, suddenly back into this thing. Somebody closing my door. Must have come open again. Alright, Delgado and Taylor. Well clear of Wenham, so it is all going forward right now. They're going side by side into the first variante. See how that goes. A little bumping. Cost themselves some time, but actually wasn't too bad. Just enough trust in each other. Just enough room.
Sorry, Wesley.
Oop, a little contact with Taylor. I'm not going to take advantage of that. That would have been a little bit of a bump pass. Don't think anything happened to either car. Just a loss of safety rating for us both. Still begs the question, where is Daniel Madringa? Because ahead of us, it's Anderson. Alright. This is probably the... I don't know. Who do I think is the faster of the two? Because it looked like Taylor was pulling away from Delgado before whatever happened to cause his white flag. Let's see if I can get a decent run. Close it up here on the main straight. Looks like Rajia is my main advantage over the two of them. The second variante, basically. I seem to pull closer to them there. Oh, Delgado got very deep. And I got my run here into Curva Grande. Against my fellow Mercedes. Looks like I'm clear. Tighten up. Oh! Taylor lost it. Bit anticlimactic. The drink is not pitted, which means he's taking a penalty. So that's a free spot right now up ahead of me. In theory, because there's no way he's got the pit penalty on me. I'll figure it out in a second here once I have a gap. Well, yeah, he's only 26 seconds up the road. So yeah, that's a free spot. So that's 21st, effectively. Wonder if he messed up his pit stop or if he didn't pit altogether. And then it's Wesley after that, which that's not happening. So, alright, so the goal from this point onwards is basically just to hold off Delgado. Take the spot from Madringo when his penalty comes into play. And take 21st place. Whoa! Delgado got very close there. I had a good run through there. That's a stunning run he's got through there then. He did break super late last lap too. Got out of that turn kind of poorly. He's got the run into Lesmo. He backed out. Had he forced the issue, I probably would have had to let him have that. He just had too good of a run. And by backing out there, he's put himself way back there now. He's over a second back. I'm thinking Madringa definitely made his pit stop because he's putting up decent lap times right now, which suggests he doesn't have like completely worn out tires. But maybe it was out of the window or something. He's gonna say he's not in the pits. That's Long and that's Levy that are in the pits. We've lost 2, effectively at least 4, because Long and Andy and Connor are out of this race and just sitting in the pits. As I sprint away from Senor Delgado. That's a shame. Delgado was kind of going to be the entertainment for the rest of this match, because as much as I'm in, air quotes, a battle with Daniel, it's a battle to just stay within the penalty distance to him, which is not going to be hard because he's
I'm
less than a half minute up the road. Sean Kenny has problems apparently. Real life problems for Keeney. He's just got to find the frequency.
Not good.
Off to Kyle Almy after this. So this was the last kind of track for a little bit to strike back at the Porsche Cruise. The Maxi Lentini, who's winning the championship, and then on top of that you've got the AXRT team, or ARXT guys. AXRT. Why do I find that so hard? It's Arjona, or it's Alberto Xavier Racing Team. XRT, who's dominating the championship. Because Kyle Almy is going to be very Porsche friendly for those 4 drivers, because Justin Swan's also on that team. And then, of course, Lentini. This was a big chance for everyone to try to make some ground up. And it looked like Lentini was behind his kind of rivals, at least. Lost a couple of tenths that time around to Mauricio Delgado, so that fight is not over. Who was the yellow flag? It looks like I picked up a spot. So someone up the road. Take away that contact with Wesley, I might have had a really good race here. Because you'd think that would have easily saved me like 20 plus seconds in the pit lane. And then also the time I wasted driving around with a damaged car. Probably would be ahead of Anderson and Madringa. Maybe some others. But that's how the cookie crumbles. That's with other people having misfortune, so. Now I'm semi-happy with this. 1.8 seconds up on Delgado still. See how this lap went in comparison to his. It's a better one for me. .3, 51.7 for Delgado, so it took 4 tenths back. My Mercedes compatriot, my fellow silver driver. I think he's silver. He might be bronze. This is an important race for that, actually, because this is the final race in the ACC Sunday Series that is going to go towards the Wednesday Series driver ratings. Last chance for people to better themselves or make themselves worse. I have a apology from Connor Levy, which is appreciated, but I think I'm still going to report. I'm still going to report that, and at the very least, use that as an example of a bad rejoin on the stewarding video. So I do view the stewarding videos as much as kind of almost an extension of the ESR Academy series that we had, in the sense that it gives us a lot of real life problems and examples of bad rejoins, blue flag issues, bad moves, that kind of thing. So even if it doesn't end up being a penalty, because I think he more or less just killed himself, it will serve as a decent look at, as I put up my fastest lap of the race of 50.8, which was 6 tenths faster than Mauricio. So last 3 laps I think I pulled away from him by a couple of tenths. So in theory, if I can keep this up, he won't be a problem. Federico Vaz, 5th place. Nice. For a guy who had like 30 minutes notice that he was going to be able to race. Pretty decent run. Catching Madringa, but it doesn't really matter. I'm going to pass him in the steward's office, I think, regardless. For 20th place, because he has not cleared his mandatory pit stop. I do suspect that he has, in fact, pitted. Just not properly. Because I would think that if he had not pitted, his tires would be kind of suffering right now. So he would have done 44 minutes on a set of tires, which they can definitely do. And it shouldn't be like dead at this point, but it'd be enough that he would be losing a lot more ground than he is actually losing to me. Andre Lacutis is in the pits, so a promising qualifying for the dynamic Porsche. Has not really paid any fruit here. Uh, 51, 51.3, 51.5, so another 2 tenths over Mauricio. He's running similar laps to me, but he can't seem to really dip into the low 51s, 50s, which is what he's going to have to do to really put some pressure on, although did just take a big chunk out of me there. I wonder if he maybe shortcut something, because he just took like a half second out of me. Oh, and I cut Raja. Speaking of cutting something, here's a warning for track limits. First, always said, it's always Raji around here. Now Delgado's back 4.2, so maybe a mistake to go with his track cut. Still catching Madringa about a second. Maybe he is on his original set of tires, because I am closing on him quite quickly. Maybe it just took till now for the tires to fall off the edge. I mean, again, not enough time to close on anybody, I don't think. Unless somebody else is getting a penalty. Doesn't look like it. Bad lap from me here, but I think a bad lap from Delgado as well. 51.5, not actually that bad, actually. 51.5. And he did a 52.9. Okay, he lost over a second. Got probably 3 laps to go. And I have fuel for 5, so pretty good on the fuel calculations today. Maybe 1 lap too much. Probably because of the long-ass pit stop.
Higgs, I'll let you by if no one's near you.
Okay, only one near me is for Streppen. He's like right behind me, so.
Yellow flank.
But he's not for position, right?
No, you good.
Suddenly I'm way behind Madringa. Not sure what happened there. Timing glitch, maybe? I think Ruben Simonite was the... Or Simonite. I don't know how to pronounce his name, actually. Was probably the yellow flag cause, because he's losing ground. I think I had a timing glitch somewhere, which is interesting. Because it feels also like this lap shouldn't be plus 1 second. Like, am I wrong on that? Was I completely blinded in thinking that was a half-assed decent lap? Or did we have a timing glitch? Oh, 51.1 from Mauricio, so he pulled out something. Could be the final lap here. I don't know where the leader is. Could be one after this. Feel good about my driving this race. Didn't have great pace or anything. Only one lap was sub 151. I think there might have been a second one in there. But if we take away the contact with Wesley, I think I showed pretty reasonable craft. And I will finish ahead of my qualifying position. So there is that. One more lap. 51.1. Delgado's putting up some good lap times here. 51.2. I think it is too little too late, Mauricio. I just need to keep it clean for a lap. And 20th place will be mine. 21st on the road, 20th in the steward's office. Or I guess because this is a... I don't know, would this... Yeah, this would be the steward. I was gonna say maybe the clerk's office. I don't know. I don't know who actually would handle the lack of pit stop that Daniel's got. And I mean, it is going to be a win over Barker, who is a predominant rival. It is going to be ahead of the three TUC cars, so helping the team there. It is ahead of. I think I'm ahead of Mika Watt, even in the Lexus, which is another rival of ours. I'm going to, in the post-race office, end up ahead of the Kessel, so we may have even scored the most for our team of the little battle we got going on kind of in the mid-pack team battles. I think I'm behind Butler. I guess that would be the one downside behind a age-old rival. And my car control went way up in this race because it was very low towards the end, or after the Hungaroring. Well, someone did devastate the turn 1 stuff, so there will be some stewarding, including one of the orange barrier things being way down there. Yeah, 132nd penalty for Madringa. And I got promoted to 20th, so I'm wondering, probably just somebody left. There is Daniel. No pit stop costing him. Probably a couple of spots. Probably lose out to, well, Delgado for sure. Probably Guillermo Taylor as well. As I finish up my cooldown lap.
It's a short timer.
I might have set back to default when we had to reinstall the server, and I may not have adjusted it. I thought I did, but apparently not. Congrats, everyone. T1 wasn't too bad.
Yeah, it was.
Pretty bad.
I have seen tremendously worse.
I hit somebody quite badly.
The standards for a T1 is very low on this track.
Apologies to whoever got caught up in my spin just out of Ascari. Sorry, whoever it was. Probably wrecked your race as well as mine, sorry.
Yeah, my car just had so much damage, it just couldn't go.
Mauricio, the race is over. He's going for another lap.
I'm out of fuel.
I will headbutt you to the pit stall. Oh, now you're a ghost. Doesn't work. I got one kick in. Well, you know what this means, Sean. I get the stall all to myself.
I know. Well, I can get back there.
No more Lamborghini Mercedes hybrid.
Rough day for the Aston Martins there.
20th place for me. That's nice. Daniel didn't do his pit stop. Got me a spot. Alright, well, we got the RWB thing coming up on Saturdays, guys, so check that out. We've also got the Wednesday 3D Speed series coming out with ACC, so get ready for that if that's something you're available for. And I think that's all I got in terms of community announcements. As per usual, if you've got a stewarding issue, please send me a screenshot with the timeline so that I can find it nice and easily. Lap 1 is reviewed by default. Everything after that must be reported or it does not get reviewed. And that's all I got, really.
Thank you, Mike. Taking the headset off now.